Hey there. Yesterday, the government announced how they plan to transition from CURB to EI. CURB, CERB. I got a lot of pushback on this CURB thing, so I guess it's CERB. That's what the government keeps calling it. So maybe I'll switch so as to not get so many rude people commenting. Okay, so we're going from the Canada Emergency Response Benefit to EI, and it's kind of a three-step process that they've outlined. And before I explain how this all works, I just want to be really clear that this plan is not law yet. So none of this is like set in stone. It's definitely going to happen. And right now the government is prorogued, I think is how you say it, where they've stopped working until I think it's the end of September 25th or something like that in there. So all of this plan is assuming that the Liberal government is not there's not a vote of non-confidence for the Liberal government, and they're able to actually pass this into law. So small caveat before I start. Okay, step one of how this is all going to work is they've extended the CERB benefit for an extra 4 weeks. So now it's 7 periods instead of 6. So that will last until September 26th. Then they've simplified EI. That's step 2. They've simplified EI. So they have reduced the hours that you need to qualify to 120. So they've given everybody basically a 300-hour credit. So if you are going to apply for EI, but in the last 52 weeks, you have only 120 hours, you now can qualify for this. That 120 hours is about 3 weeks or so at 40 hours per week. So it's not a lot, which is great. So most people, hopefully, that were working, that were employed, will meet this new criteria because it's 120 hours in the last 52 weeks. So if you start the EI, like if you apply for EI on September 27th when the CERB ends, then you need 120 hours from September 2019 to qualify. So hopefully that captures a lot of people. EI special benefits like maternity benefits are a little bit different. They're crediting 480 hours and it's retroactive to March 15th. So you can apply for your benefits all the way back to March 15th, which is great. The minimum EI benefit is now $400 per week. And it's based on the best 14 weeks of the last 14 weeks of insurable hours in the last 52 weeks. Sometimes it's between 14 and 22 weeks, and that affects your EI benefit. But now it's 14 weeks, it's the smallest of them, and you get a minimum of $400 per week. You can now claim EI for up to 26 weeks, which is about 6 months. It used to be that it was 14 to 45 weeks. So if you, under the old rules, under the normal rules, if you were eligible for more than 26 weeks, you're still eligible for more than 26 weeks, but it's a minimum of 26 now, which is great. All of these new EI rules are only for 1 year, and then I guess the plan here is that they're giving all of this, like the EI and these new benefits are for 1 year, and then theoretically in a year from now, or well, less than a year from now, hopefully they let us know before a year is up, they will explain what the new normal is going to look like. So they're going to be updating the EI system, updating the rules, trying to make it a little bit more modern, because what they were saying is that the EI system, the EI rules, they just don't keep up, and they haven't changed as the way that people work have changed. And so they're planning to do a major overhaul of the EI program in the next year. So that overhaul will replace this new simplified EI in the next year. The normal working while on benefits rules still apply, which means for every dollar that you earn while you're on EI, 50 cents gets clawed back, or you lose 50 cents in your benefits for every dollar that you earn, up to 90% of your prior earnings. So that's step 2, simplified EI. Step 3 is they've created 3 new benefits to support people who don't qualify for EI. So these are people who are self-employed, people who are they can't work because they're sick, or they can't work because they have to care for a child, because that child can't go to school or to care facilities. What's that? Daycare. Children have daycare. So the three new benefits are the Canada Recovery Benefit, Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, and Canada Recovery Caregiver Benefit. So the Canada Recovery Benefit is $400 per week for up to 26 weeks within a 1-year period. And the eligibility is very similar to the old CERB rules. So you have to have your income reduced due to the pandemic, and you have the same like $5,000 earned income eligibility. So if you qualify for CERB, then you will qualify for this. If you don't qualify for EI, so it's like EI, you qualify for EI, then you get that. If you don't qualify for EI, then you move on to the Canada Recovery Benefit. This benefit has a similar working while on benefit rules as EI, except it's for net income. So there will be a 50% clawback on your benefit for every dollar of net income. So that's after expenses that you receive or that you earn within the period. Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit is for people who are ill or have to self-isolate because of the pandemic. It provides $500 per week for up to 2 weeks, and it is not available if you have other paid sick leaves or benefits. And eligibility is similar to the CERB benefit on that one. You need that $5,000 in earned income in the last 12 months or in 2019 to qualify. The Canada Recovery Caregiver Benefit, this is the third one, is paid to workers who are unable to work because they have to care for a child who's under the age of 12, and or a dependent or a family member or something like that, because schools or daycare or care facilities have closed, closed due to the pandemic. It will provide $500 per week, up to 26 weeks per household. So not two people within the household can't claim the benefit. Only one person in the household can claim the benefit. It's not available if the schools or the daycares or that sort of thing are open and available for your dependent or your child to go to. However, if you have a doctor's note saying that this individual cannot go to school, like it's not safe for them to go to school or to the care facilities or whatever because they're immunocompromised or something like that, like you have a doctor telling you don't send your kids to school, then the benefit is still available for you. All of these benefits are available for 1 year. Like I said, they're all administered by the CRA. So I would sign up for a My Account if you don't have one already and you anticipate needing this benefit. Applications will be required. So you have to actually go in and apply, and there will be an attestation very similar to the CERB where you just say like, yes, I qualify. And they could follow up with you later just to verify that that was true. Unlike the CERB, all the payments are made in arrears. So after the fact, like CERB is paid in advance and you get paid for the 4 weeks. Like you get paid at the beginning of the month for the 4 weeks after that. This one is paid in arrears. And the first relevant 2-week period will end on October 10th. Payments are taxable, but unlike CERB, the payments they have the source deductions withheld. So you, like with the CERB payments, you're getting $2,000, but no taxes have been withheld. On this side, with these new benefits and EI is like this too, they will withhold the tax from those payments for you. So you don't have to worry about a crazy tax bill. In my experience though, in doing tax returns, a lot of times EI doesn't withhold enough. So just because they're withholding taxes on your payments doesn't mean you won't still owe taxes. I'm not saying you definitely are going to owe taxes, but it's not unheard of to owe tax if you're on the EI benefit program. So just be aware that you still might owe taxes even though they're withholding taxes for you at source. For people who are on CERB and they applied through Service Canada, And you've been submitting reports to the EI program, just explaining your situation and like saying you've been looking for work and that kind of thing. So if your reports indicate that you will still require this benefit or financial support, I should say, after the CERB periods end, then you will automatically be transitioned to EI. If you applied for CERB through CRA, then you will have to apply for EI when the CERB payments end. All EI recipients have to submit a bi-weekly report showing eligibility and including availability to work. So if you applied for CERB through CRA and you're now going to apply for EI, just know that there's an extra reporting requirement there. The EI, when you apply for EI, they will explain to you what you need to be reporting bi-weekly. EI premium. So this piece is for small business owners or people who have employees working for them. And if you're an employee and you're working, normally when we see an increase in EI benefit users, so people on EI, we see an increase in the premiums in the following year. So because there's going to be a huge increase this year, we would expect to see an increase in 2021 of these premiums, but the government is proposing that they freeze the EI premiums for 2 years. So at 2020 levels, so that means for employees, you're paying 1.58% of your insurable earnings, and for employers, it's 2.21% of insurable earnings. So that's good news for next year. Those EI premiums aren't going up, and that will save small business owners a little bit of money in hopes that they can then hire more people. That's the plan there. So that was a lot all at once, but I think the main things to know: CERB is being extended by 1 more period. You can transition to EI, and you only need 120 hours of insurable hours in the last 2 weeks to qualify. So there's going to be a lot more people that qualify. If you don't, then check out one of the other 3 benefits: the Canada Recovery Benefit, Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, and Canada Recovery Caregiver Benefit. Theoretically, if you don't qualify for EI, you should be covered by one of these new benefits. If you have any questions about any of that, please leave them in the comments for me. I'm happy to chat with you about them. And I hope you're doing well on this Friday evening. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I'll see you tomorrow.